Hello, this is Christina Russell with Christina Russell Coaching. And in my last video, I talked about goals and how important they are, but how we often don't set them because we don't want to feel the negative feelings and have the negative thoughts that come up when we set a goal. Thoughts like, that's impossible, I'm not good enough, I could never achieve that goal. And I told you that in this video, I would share with you a tool that you can use to work with those negative feelings, work with those negative beliefs, and actually help shift your resistance around your goal so that you can have more energy to work towards your goal effectively. So that's what I'm going to do. And the tool I'm going to share with you, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, it's kind of weird. When I first heard about it many years ago, I kind of dismissed it as just too weird, kind of flaky, and I didn't even give it a chance. And then it just kept circling back to me from people that I really respected. So I decided to go ahead and give it a try and was really blown away with how powerful it was for me. And then I started, using it with clients, trying it out with clients, and was blown away with the impact it had with them as well. So now I love sharing this tool because it's so simple and so effective and something that you can really use on your own. I use it all the time. So it's called Emotional Freedom Techniques, or tapping, sometimes called EFT. Tapping, because we're just tapping on points on our body, acupuncture points on our body. There's a lot of explanations there's some different explanations about how it works. There's a ton of research about it. I'm not going to go into all that. You can Google it if you want to. I'm just going to say for now that it's a mind-body tool that calms the nervous system, calms the fight or flight response or the stress response. So it helps, reduce the stress in your body and gives you more access to the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that helps you with complex thinking, creative problem solving, and the tools that you really need to go after a goal, to work towards a goal, work on a project, right? If we've got the fight or flight response running, even just subtly, we have less access to our creative mind. And that's what we want. And you might think, well, I don't have the fight or flight response when I get to my goal. But if you start having these negative feelings, I'm not good enough, that's impossible, it is a subtle stress response. For some of us subtle, for some of us not so subtle. So, like I said, we're about to try this experiment. If you're like me and you have a skeptical mind, I have a huge inner skeptic. Like I said, when I first heard about this, I totally dismissed it. I'm going to just ask you to invite your inner skeptic to just do a little experiment for the next 10 minutes or so. Give it a try, and just as an experiment to see what happens for you. It may work, it may not, but you'll never know if you don't try, right? So we're going to do this exercise, and all you're going to do is just tap right where I'm tapping. The points themselves are important, so try to tap it as best you can where I'm doing it, and I'll kind of walk you through where the points are as we go. And then the other thing is you're just going to repeat the words that I say. Okay? I'll remind you again when we get there. So once again, I want you to think about your goal. If you watched my last video, we set a monthly income goal that was a bit of a stretch for us. And so if you watch that video, you can use that goal. If you didn't watch that video, that's okay. Just come up with a goal that's a stretch for you. It could be a monthly income goal. It could be some other financial goal, like paying off your debt, building up your savings, paying off your car, or it could be something. It doesn't have to be a financial goal. This tool works on just about everything. It could be a weight loss goal, some kind of a health goal, finding a new love, any goal that you have that feels like it's a little bit of a stretch for you, that you've got some resistance around. Okay, so just think about your goal, and I just want you to write it down. And then I want you to rate this statement that I'm about to say. 0 on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being not true at all, and 10 being totally true. The statement is, it's impossible. So when you think about your goal, how true does that statement feel? 0 means it doesn't feel true at all. Your goal actually feels pretty possible. 10 it means totally true. Your goal feels totally impossible. Okay, and now here's where we're going to do that weird technique. We're going to start tapping on this goal, and I'm just going to voice some possible thoughts you might be having, feelings you might be having, and you're just going to tap right along with me. It doesn't matter if the words don't match your situation perfectly, just focus on your own resistance, okay? We're going to start right on the inside of the eyebrow, focusing on your goal. There's my goal. Outside of the eye, right on the bone, not back on the temple, but right on the bone. And my goal feels really impossible. Under the eye, right on the bone. It's totally impossible. Under the nose, impossible for me. On the chin, there's no way that can happen. On the collarbone, and here you're right on the inside of the collarbone, not way out here, right on the inside of the collarbone. That goal is just too big. It's impossible. And then what would be the bra line for women? I can't do it. Top of the head, right on the crown. I can never do it. It's never going to happen. Anyway, I have no idea how to make that happen. And I can't do it if I don't know how. How could I possibly make that happen? It's impossible. And it would probably be really hard, too much work, and already I hardly have time for what I have to do. It's impossible. Impossible. And I'm not good enough, not smart enough. I don't have enough training, don't have enough skills. And that feels really bad. I don't want to feel that. It's too scary. It's too much pressure around this goal. It's impossible. All this resistance I have around this goal, I'm just going to honor it now. Okay, stop tapping and just take a deep breath and close your eyes and tune in to what you're feeling. But sometimes after a round of tapping, I feel some tingling in my body. I feel the energy moving. And you may not feel that. You may not feel anything, and that's totally fine. It doesn't mean it's not working for you. Now I want you to think about your goal again and test the statement again. It's impossible. How true does it feel? Scale of 0 to 10. Notice, does it feel the same? Does it seem different? Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. A lot of times my numbers go in the wrong direction before they go in the right direction, and that's okay. That we all process things in our own way. But if it's gone down, just notice that. Even if it's only gone down 1 number, 2 numbers, that means you now feel like your goal is 10 to 20% more possible than you did 3 minutes ago, which gives you more energy for working towards it, okay? Sometimes people are disturbed with how negative the voice is when I speak those negative words, because we think about, we're supposed to think positively, we're supposed to use affirmations, our brain believes what we tell it. And I love affirmations. Affirmations are wonderful. But if you've still got all this negative thinking inside of you about the situation, an affirmation is just kind of putting a Band-Aid on that rather than dealing with it directly. Here, we're dealing with it directly so that the affirmation will actually be able to come in more powerfully. We'll be able to believe that more intensely. And I promise you, if you're tapping on a negative voice, it's not going to hurt you. Even if you don't believe the negative voice, it won't hurt you. And then I love tapping on affirmations. It kind of supercharges them, but not until we get the negative voice down. So if you're not feeling better, if your number came up, if you're still feeling like it's really impossible, you can go back and do that round that we just did again. Sometimes again and again. Sometimes I'll just walk around saying, it's impossible, it's impossible, it's impossible, it's impossible. The words don't really matter. It's more, the words are just a tool to help you focus on the feeling, okay? But if you are feeling better, and once you are feeling better, we're going to do this round that's going to be a little bit more positive, okay? So focusing one more time on your goal. There's my goal. And it still feels a little bit impossible, maybe even a lot impossible. But I do feel some shift around it. Even if it's only 10 to 20%, that's still movement. It's still a shift. I'm just going to honor that it feels impossible to some parts of me. And I'm going to let other parts of me feel open. What if this goal is actually possible for me? What if? What if? I'm just going to be open to the idea that there could actually be tons of ways for this to unfold for me. I may not see these pathways yet, but what if I can just hold an attitude of openness to new possibilities? New ideas and inspirations rising up inside of me. New relationships that can support me. New resources that could help me. I'm just going to be open and curious. I wonder how that could happen. I'm so curious as to how this could happen for me. What if it's actually possible? I'm open to enthusiasm and inspiration and the energy to make this happen. And I'm open for it happening in a way that's fun, joyful, easy, fulfilling, and meaningful. I'm going to be open to loving this goal and everything it represents. I'm open to my goal. All right, and now pause. And again, just close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Notice what you feel inside. And again, let's test that statement. It's impossible. See if your number has shifted. And again, even if it's just a few points, that's that much more that you're open to your goal. So I'd love for you to leave a comment below and let me know if your number did shift. I'd love to hear feedback about that. And I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.